Hello Soul Star, this is Lami of LabelledByLami. Welcome to this week's tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to be looking at how to take a detailed full body measurement from the shoulder to the length. A good and accurate measurement makes well for a well-fitting dress. If you have a faulty measurement, be rest assured that the whole fitting of your dress will be below par. What this means is that to get a perfect fitting dress, you have to put in a little bit more of effort into the measuring. And that's exactly what we'll be doing in this tutorial. So if you're a fashion designer, if you're an aspiring fashion designer, even if you're just a fashion consumer and you get to send your measurements to your designer wherever in the world, this would also serve you, because now you know what exactly you're measuring and how to measure it, and you can brag to your designer that, yeah, I took an accurate measurement. Please make sure that my dress fits here. So let's not waste more time. Let's get straight into the tutorial.
So there are two important things you need to do before you start to measure your model or yourself. You need to be sure that you're dressed in a body hugging or fairly tight garment, a garment that shows your curves clearly. Also, you want to make sure that you have a good and supportive bra on in order to get the apex of your bust correctly. This is very important. Now, the first measurement to take is the shoulder measurement. This is taken by placing the start of the measuring tape on the shoulder tip and then moving it across the shape of the neck to the other shoulder tip. Here, I am measuring the shoulder slant, and this is done by placing the start of the measuring tape on the highest point of the neck and then following the slant, measure to the tip of the shoulder. For the back width measurement, place the start of the measuring tape on the nape of the neck, that is that prominent bone when you touch your neck at the back. From this point, you will measure about 4 to 5 inches, and at this point, you will take the tape across one underarm point to another. For the back waist length, you will place the start of the measuring tape on the nape of the neck, then allow the tape to follow the shape of the spine till you get to the hollow part of the back. This is important so that the center back seam or the zipper on your garment can lie really flat on the back. Please note that the back length will most likely be shorter than the front length, and that's just okay. To take the chest measurement, I will first find the bone base of the neck. The bone base of the neck is usually quite prominent in a slim figure, but for a plus size, you may want to do the symmetry test where you identify the middle of the body by just eyeballing it and not necessarily using your hands like I'm doing here. Anyway, once the bone base of the neck is established, you want to measure about 4 or 4.5 inches below it, and from this point, measure across the chest like so. Next is the shoulder to bust measurement. Simply place the start of the measuring tape at the highest point of the neck, ensuring that the measuring tape stays flat. Bring it down to the apex of the bust. The apex of the bust is the fullest part of the bust, and if you or your client is wearing a good bra, the apex should be just on the nipple. To take the shoulder to under bust measurement, it is the same step as taking the bust measurement, just that this time you want to extend it to the under bust, directly where the bra underwire sits. The next measurement is the apex to apex measurement. You want to measure from one nipple to the other nipple. This measurement is how to determine your dart position. At this point, I am about to take the shoulder to waist measurement, and it is advisable to first establish the natural waistline. The natural waistline is the narrowest part of your waist. Sometimes this is hard to establish in a plus size figure, so you may want to run your hand through a side, and please pay attention to the point where your hand breaks in like so. This point is the natural waist point, or what some people call the high waist, and it's usually about 3 inches above the low waist. Once you establish this point, you may want to tie a narrow string around the point like so. So from this point, we can now take all other measurements. So to take the shoulder to waist measurement, the same way you took the shoulder to bust measurement, just that this time around, you are extending the measurement to your natural waist. The waist to hip measurement is another good measurement to take. So place the start of the measuring tape on the natural waist and then measure down to the hip line. The hip line is the fullest part of the hip. This is usually around 8 to 10 inches below the natural waistline. Now, let's take the waist to knee. Place the start of the measuring tape on the natural waist and then measure down to the knee. For a full length garment, you want to extend the measurement to the ankle or to the ground as the case may be. Now, let's move to the horizontal measurements. So, to take the chest girth measurement, ensure that the measuring tape lays flat on the back and then measure the circumference over the chest. In case you're making an off-the-shoulder dress, you may need to take the circumference of the chest, but this time around, the tape will go across the arms as well as the chest, like so. This will help to ascertain the correctness of the measurement even before the dress is worn. To take the bust girth, ensure that the measuring tape lies flat at the back and then bring it across the apex of the bust like so. For a plus size, please ensure to put 2 fingers between the body and the measuring tape and move it back and forth. This is done to eliminate any form of unwanted tightness around the bust. For the under bust girth, be sure that the measuring tape lies flat at the back and then take it across the under bust where the bra underwire sits, like so. To measure the waist girth, simply measure around the natural waist only as tightly as a skirt band should be. Now, let's take the hips measurement. Take the measuring tape around the fullest part of the hips. You want to measure this very close to the figure but not too tight. You may even move the measuring tape up and down to ascertain a level of freeness for leg movement. The arm vertical measurement. To take arm length measurement, you want to ensure that the arm is bent at the elbow. This is to ensure freeness of the arm in the dress. Then from the shoulder point, let the measuring tape pass over the elbow point down to the back of the wrist or to your preferred length. For elbow length measurement, take the measurement the same way, but this time stop measuring at the elbow point like so. To take top arm girth, find the fullest part of the arm, which is usually around 4 to 5 inches below the shoulder point, and on this point, take the measuring tape around the arm. To take the elbow girth measurement, take the measuring tape around the elbow, passing exactly over the elbow point while it's bent. This is very important to note. And for the wrist girth, take the measuring tape around the wrist and take a close measurement but not too tight. By the way, if you're making an extra long sleeve garment, you want to take the measurement of the cupped palm like so, and then move the measuring tape up and down to accommodate a level of freeness.
Now we've come to the end of the tutorial. I hope that you got value for your time. I also hope that you learned something new. Kindly support this channel by subscribing, by liking and dropping your comments and your questions in the comment section. I will be there to answer them as they come in. Also, do not forget to share this video with anybody you know who will be in need of it. Don't be stingy with information. Alright, okay, so the next time I see you, have yourself some fabulous time.